Today, for those of you who are thinking I might be a 4, I want you to know that you are beautiful, capable, and lovable, just as you are. Crone says, there is nothing to make up for. There is nothing missing. It may be hard for you to believe, but God didn't ship you here with a vital part absent from your essential makeup. You arrived on life's doorstep with the same equipment everyone else did. The kingdom is inside you, too. Everything you need is here. Last Sunday, some of us stayed after worship for our first 5th Sunday Faith Focus of the fall. That's our new name for the 5th Sundays of the month, where we will stay after and do just a little bit of education for all ages. So this last week, everyone was invited to bring their lunch and learn more about the 9 Enneagram types. Divided into pairs, we worked with our partners to imagine what it would be like to be the Enneagram number we were assigned. Then we received a prompt to act out or explain. Kai Ranzel was my partner, and we were assigned Enneagram Type 4, the Individualist or romantic that we will learn about more today. Our prompt said this: you've just gotten engaged. What's the first thing you do after you say yes? And how does the number you've been assigned plan the big day? Well, 4s don't have feelings. They are their feelings. So I quickly wrote down that as a 4 who had just said yes to a proposal, I would call my parents hysterically crying with joy. And according to Ian Crone, who co-wrote The Road Back to You, 4s aren't satisfied with having regular, run-of-the-mill feelings. They want supersized feelings. Planning the big day alongside Kai was actually really fun, and neither one of us are Type 4, so we had a good time getting into character. Because individualists have a deep need to be special or unique, we knew this wedding had to be an eccentric experience. We decided that the bride was a veterinarian, so she had an intense love for animals. In order for her wedding day to be beautiful, creative, and one of a kind, she decided to go against societal norms by wearing an untraditional wedding gown made from various faux furs and animal prints. Her bouquet was made from faux feathers, and her veil from butterfly netting. Not only were humans invited, but their pets were the guests of honor. The couple even prepared a song to sing as a part of their ceremony, and the tables were decorated with unique dog collars at each place setting. We even brewed our own beer called The Cat's Meow. It was perfect. We came up with that together. It was fun to put ourselves in someone else's shoes for a minute. But I want to be clear that this is an over-the-top example of how a 4 would plan their nuptials. As a 4 himself, Crone describes a healthy individualist as having a considerable emotional range, one that they manage by not speaking or acting on every feeling they have. They know they don't have to be special to win God's unconditional love. These 4s have found a way to live, for the most part, outside the pattern of shame and inferiority. They are deeply creative, emotionally honest, and connected, and attuned to beauty. Unhealthy 4s tend to be manipulative, playing the role of victim in order to create or maintain relationships. They find themselves lacking when compared to others, which only exacerbates their self-debasement. These 4s feel so much shame, they are unable to connect to the very part of themselves that believes they can change and be better. In our Old Testament story today, we find a young man who is living into his 4ness. Joseph is a teenager with 11 older brothers who really don't like him. After all, he's nothing like them. They toil away in the fields while he does who knows what at home with his father. Yes, he was sent to help his brothers, but it doesn't seem as if the family business was resting on his shoulders. And this behavior is no surprise, since 4s view themselves as superior to the huddling masses and think they are exempt from pedestrian chores. Many fours are known to work a day job to support their creative endeavors. Joseph is the favorite son, the chosen promise, beloved by his father because he is the son of his favorite wife, Rachel. And it wasn't enough for Jacob to act like he loved Joseph most, so he gave him a costly robe, which in the original Hebrew translates a coat of many colors. Fours are known for wearing clothes that set them apart and attract attention. His new clothes definitely did that. They only magnified the fact that he was different. Joseph comes from a family of shepherds, which we should remember based on his father, Jacob, who we learned about last week. He took his brother's inheritance. Remember Esau? Joseph is an extension of his father's story, a continuation of family dysfunction and complicated relationships. Sound familiar, anyone? But his story is also a story about how God uses all situations and transforms all misfortunes for good. Joseph's story is longer than we read in worship today, and if you want to hear the whole saga, you can read Genesis chapters 37 through 50. And if you were to read all 13 chapters, you would find that Joseph is a unique, creative, and wise young man. He has vivid dreams given to him by God, and he also has the ability to interpret dreams for others. Dreams play a key role in his story. The first we read about is in our text today. He confidently shares it with his brothers, but after interpreting it, they find that they don't like what it means. Who wants to be told that they will bow down to their younger, annoying, strange little brother, that he will reign over them? And he shares a second dream with his father and brothers, which they interpret with a similar meaning. And even Jacob rebukes Joseph for sharing his eccentric gift. Dreams in Joseph's world were usually understood to be externally and divinely generated, not the result of an interior psychological process. Yet the brothers interpret Joseph's dreams as if they are the product of Joseph's own arrogance. This provides some tension in the narrative. Dreams also create tension by their prophetic character as they move from announcement to realization without the brothers realizing it. But Joseph couldn't help it. Fours find meaning best expressed through imagery, metaphors, story, and symbols, that they can express feelings and truths that test the limits of language. What's interesting is that Joseph is just a boy here. He's just learning about his gift. This unique ability he has been given by God ends up being the very thing that sets him apart and makes him feel lacking. The wounding message that fours seem to hear all the time is there's something off about you. No one understands you, and you'll never belong. Does anybody remember what happens next in the story? Out of anger and jealousy, Joseph's brothers conspire to kill him. Luckily, thoughts of murder are replaced with a new plan. Joseph would be sold into slavery, and Jacob would be deceived into thinking his most beloved son was dead. As a slave, Joseph quickly climbs the ranks under his new master, Potiphar, until he is the head of the household. But Potiphar's wife has other plans for Joseph. Finding that her advances are not wanted, she accuses him of sexual assault, and he is falsely imprisoned. And even in prison, he was called to use his gifts. He once again found favor with his captor and was given control over the prison and those in it. He interpreted dreams for the captives and then for Pharaoh, so he was elevated to Pharaoh's side as head of the palace. He sees Egypt and its people through 7 years of prosperity and 7 years of famine. Joseph has a positive impact. Once placed in a leadership position, Joseph is no passive member of the community, but rather becomes deeply engaged on behalf of the public good. To be fulfilled, a four's work has to have a higher purpose. Make use of and highlight their area of expertise. Tap into their fertile imagination and interior life, and make it possible for them to establish emotional connections with others. Joseph is right where he is supposed to be. When his brothers come from Canaan looking for food, Joseph, being a thriving individualist, doesn't pass up the chance to be theatrical. He plays with his brothers a little bit before he reveals his true identity. But in doing so, he rejects violence and revenge, and hence brings some closure to the snowballing effects of dysfunctionality among the family. Finally, he does not return their violence in kind, though it is within his power to do so. Instead of retaliation, he chooses reconciliation. An unhealthy four would have loved to play the victim, but Joseph has evolved. He is empathic, introspective, and supportive. God provides the unity in the story, working in and through Joseph for divine purposes. The family is preserved and unified and enabled to move on as the bearer of God's promises to the world, as Israel, the people of God. So Joseph and his family settle in Egypt, setting the stage for the events to come in Exodus. With the help of God, one little four did all of that. Today, for those of you who are thinking I might be a four, I want you to know that you are beautiful, capable, and lovable, just as you are. Crone says, there is nothing to make up for. There is nothing missing. It may be hard for you to believe, but God didn't ship you here with a vital part absent from your essential makeup. You arrived on life's doorstep with the same equipment everyone else did. The kingdom is inside you, too. Everything you need is here. Have you ever seen the soft gaze that comes over a mother's face when she's looking into the eyes of her newborn? This is how God looks at you. God sees, hears, and understands you, and your identity can only be found in God. Never settle for less. For you fours out there, we see you. You're beautiful. Don't be ashamed. We see you. You're beautiful. Don't be ashamed. We see you. You're beautiful. Don't be ashamed. I'll leave you with this prayer. Weaver of beauty, thank you for seeking me, for never stopping to seek me. Open me to the intimate connection between us that I may rest in your grace. Empty me of all the ways I abandon myself, these self-rejections that evoke shame. Soften my comparing mind and my longing that I may know gratitude for what I have and for who I am. Guide me in the path of appreciation for the beauty and possibility that surrounds me, that is within me. Sacred source of my life, ground me in my inner calm and remind me of the holy and the beautiful in the ordinary. Open my eyes and my heart to see your grace-filled touch in all of life. From this seeing, I know there really are no ordinary moments, for all is sacred. Amen.